She describes herself as a Biafran activist, and she'll be speaking on two issues: the common ties that bind us and the importance of women in the struggle for emancipation. Could I invite Iriawo, Tamuno Tonye, to take the stage and deliver her presentation? Thank you.
My name is Iriawo Tamuno Tonye, and contrary to what some people might think, we Calabar people are Izon people. Yes, and I say Izon because to most people, while they known out there, they believe that the Izon tribe should be known as Ejo, which is the, of course, corrupt version of our name, which is Izon, meaning truth. We have a lot of sub-regions under the region of the Izon people, which the Calabar people happen to be one of them. I am from a village called Bukuma in the Calabar Kingdom. Via this, I can boldly state that I am a Biafran, proudly so. Not because at some point we were banded off and thrown to be, part of, the great Biafra land, but because from time immemorial, those who have resided along the coast, the coastal region or the coastal line of the Atlantic, we have been known to be Biafran people even before the name Nigeria came into existence. Hence, you can find little nuggets, as I call them, whilst researching that verify these points. You have, for instance, the Presbyterian Church of Biafra. This was well before even the 1900s, because it was later changed in the 1900s to the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria. And for so many other reasons, that we had the Calabar people, for instance, agree with the Jamaicans at that time when they were trading to call this region the Bight of Biafra, and so on and so forth. People kept using that, name. There are so many reasons why we can call ourselves Biafrans. There are so many reasons, even if, of course, they have never asked us. Even if, of course, some people feel that we have never been asked. If we go back to our initial agreement, or if you go back to when the People's General Dumum Ojukwu was sent to Eburi to speak on behalf of the Biafran, all the old Eastern region people, which in turn became the Biafran people, you would see that not just one, but all kings, Amayanabos, chiefs, be it in Eleme, in Ogoni, and the rest were all consulted, and they picked and sent Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu forward to represent the people and speak on behalf of all the nationalities who were under the Eastern region at the time. And of which we all know that this was not one of the reasons why Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu came out in May to proclaim what had been agreed, was because of some pressure from the background, from some of these chiefs that really wanted to know and find out about what they had, the errand, so to speak, that they had sent him for, which is normal. If you send out a warrior or you send out a spokesman on your behalf, you expect an answer. So I believe, and I agree with my sister Priscilla, that a lot of talks need to be done, and we need to sit down and speak about it. The Ogoni people have always been very autonomous in, the way they, carry themselves, present themselves, want to be looked at. Personally, I am Izon and Eleme. My mother is Eleme, and an Ogoni man will tell you that an Eleme man is not his brother, or they have no relation whatsoever. But an Ogoni man will say Obari, an Eleme man will say Bari. So I was chuckling a bit when my sister Priscilla was speaking. I could understand a little bit from where she was coming from, but yeah, I would really love to catch up and really trade notes, because I also happen to know of a place called Eleme in the Ewe region, rather, yes, in the Ewe region, going off towards Aflawo. You would find a village there also called Eleme. And of course, in Fanti, you find the name Tonye. I am Tamuno Tonye. You find the name Tonye, meaning mine in Fanti. So if you want to go to what Biafra stands for in the larger picture, you realize that it is not just about finding or putting together Biafra as we are. It is about finding all these core roots and core, values that bind all of us together, not just as, Biafran people or as Yoruba people or Dudua people, but as Africans in general, which I believe is our goal in the long run. But of course, a journey of 1,000 miles, you have to take a step, And for what I really want to talk to my people about today, it has to do with, for me, the line of the single thread that I think binds us all as a people. And I will say it in one simple term, and that's just Igbo. People will ask me why, maybe expect me to say something like how we say Ingaji. Ingaji means spoon. In Izon, we say spoon, Ingaji. If you go to Ogun, it's probably Ingaji. If you go to Eleme, it's probably Ingaji. If you go to Delta, Urobo or Isoko, it is probably Ingaji, and all those other small things. Ine, Ada, first daughter, and the CBD, which are things that should be part of our history and culture today. But as some of these things are long lost and forgotten, and we need to bring them back. So people would expect me to go to all of this, but no, I would like to say the Igbo, because if you go to every part of where is known right now as the Southeast or the eastern part of Nigeria, you find one tribe existing, which is the Igbo, coexisting rather, not just existing, coexisting, cohabitating, and not just something that started 100 or 200 days ago. This has been from time immemorial. So I would like to believe, due to the researches that I have made personally, and the findings that I have been privy to, due to the internet and the rest of them, and people that I have met, the Igbo is a common thread that binds us all in the eastern region. And I like to believe that where we no longer find an Igbo person or an Igbo indigenous community, let me be clear, an Igbo indigenous community, then we can say, okay, that part, that is where the Biafra line stops. But as long as you can find an Igbo indigenous community, I tell you, the map would not be any more correct to say that is a part of Biafra land. And without taking up much of the time of this great conference, I would like to also state that it's with joy, it fills my heart with joy when I see people like our sister Priscilla, and ladies in general, come and speak about matters like this that really affect our society and affects us as a people. Because for much too long, whenever I walk into seminars like this, I find it male dominated, and for me it's very, very sad. And I am very, very grateful that, I hope that in the future that we'll have a lot more females, women, participating of all ages, because it's very important. I mean, as African women, as a Biafran woman, I have seen my mothers to be very strong women who have raised very strong men, be it from the Aba women's riots of 1929, and apart from that, coming forward, you see that our women have always been strong, and they have always showcased that. Of course, we have respect for our men. We know where our place is at, but it doesn't mean we don't have to stand side by side and support them in whatever they have to do. And it doesn't mean that we do not have a voice when it comes to speaking the truth and speaking of how things should be done in a certain way. Because at the end of the day, I can tell you for a fact that the women raise their children, and at the end of the day, before a man goes out there to become a leader, the first teacher he has is his mother. So it's very, very important that you teach our female children of what the right thinks or right values of our society is, so that when they step out there, even if they are just, women that stay at home and they are homemakers, they can breed the finest of men. Thank you very much to this great conference. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Iriawo, Tonye, and I am proudly Biafran.
Iriawo, thank you so much for that. In Fatherland Group, rest assured that our men are alongside our women, and our women are alongside our men. We don't have one in front, one behind. We have them side by side. So your message is taken on board. Valuable presentation. I understood from that the Kalabari are eyes on people, and that Ijo is actually a corruption of the genuine name, which is eyes on. I understood from that you were Biafrans even before Nigeria came into existence in 1900. And that's a powerful message, reinforced by the illustration that the Presbyterian Church of Biafra predated what then became the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria. So this is evidence-led reasoning, and this is what Fatherland values, much more than emotional reactions to situations. We love it when we're evidence-led, reasoning-led, because our greatest gift as human beings that separates us from animals is the power of reason. We must never allow that to be handicapped as we shape our new relationship and the way forward. I heard that what Ojukwu proclaimed when he declared Biafra was actually what had been agreed, that it wasn't a unilateral action. It was an agreed declaration. I heard that Ngaji is a spoon, and this is common right across the Eastern nationalities. I probably murdered the pronunciation as a Yoruba man, but my wife will correct me later on. Ngaji is a spoon. It illustrates in the common thread, and which she explained very clearly, that there is a common thread running across the relationships in the East. And that common thread, as she said, it is actually the Igbo common thread, which is not surprising that there are interplays of nationalities. There will be exchanges. We were good neighbors before the colonial intrusion. This has to be remembered. So thank you again for that presentation. Very clear, great messaging from Iriawo, Tamuno Tonye. Thank you very much.